The police won't touch them. And the feds are going to go in and take care of it. Do I have to spell it out for you? Just hear me out. America. We have foreign invaders on our soil. And there's nobody to defend you from them but us. This is a test that is being done to see if we will unify against them or not. If we won't, then things are going to get worse. Can we put down the dumb fucking race wars and shit? Because that doesn't matter anymore if you haven't noticed. The Venezuelans don't give a fuck what you look like. The Chinese people that have been coming in here don't give a fuck what you look like. The Spanish people no, not the Spanish, but the people that have been coming over from the Mexican borders and shit, the Russians and shit, they don't give a fuck what you look like. You're all their enemy. Now I'm mixed, so I represent everybody. So don't give me shit about either side. I don't give a fuck what either side did, because trust me, y'all both fucking guilty of crazy fucked up shit. A lot of it's made up in the news anyway and never really happened. It was just some bullshit play to fucking rile your feathers up, to keep you bumping heads. Look, listen. That's just done and over with, yo. The race war shit is stupid. We have a common enemy. Two common enemies. The ones that they slipped in here, and them for fucking doing it to us. We're all dealing with the same bullshit, really. And now it's in our house. Because of the fact that we couldn't keep our house together, it's in our house. That's how they got this country in the first place. There was problems that were in-house, and that was capitalized on. What do you think's about to happen? Do we want history to repeat itself, or do we want the freedom that we thought that we had when they went to war with Britain, when they lied to you and told you that we won? That was all. Clearly we didn't. Check the videos in the playlist. You'll see we're still being ran and operated by all of them. And you know this. You don't even have to look in the videos to see it. You see the atrocities that are happening. You're tired of the food being the way it is, the air being fucked with. You're tired of fucking starving and fucking barely scraping by on a day-to-day basis. Aren't you tired of all that shit? Look at all the abundance we have around us, and we can't even have access to it. Can we just put that fucking race shit to the side now? They want to see what we're going to do. Let's give them what they want. Our way. Together. Stop what you're doing. Why are you going to work? Answer me this. Look around you. Look at the state of everything. Why are you going to work supporting it? Why are you still spending dollars? That company's money. Why are you participating in any of it at this point? Look, right? Notice how, there's word of the FBI coming in to take care of the Venezuelans, but you don't hear the military coming. Notice how the police aren't dealing with them, but they'll deal with you. You can still go to Chicago and get dragged by the boys right now, but they're not touching them because they're together. It's just a small group of them. It's not even a whole fucking lot, It's not even a whole lot. Shouldn't that be telling you something? Isn't that the whole showing of the ant versus the wasp? Right? Y'all not seeing this shit? Are we looking at the same thing? Are we witnessing the same thing? Because I see the crumble. I see the crumble of all the horrible things that have been happening here, right in the near future. If we allow them to destroy everything, it's only so that they can be rebought and rebuilt. You notice how it's only happening in the places where they tell you that it was the biggest trouble for the government in the first place. It's funny how those are the places that these people just happen to migrate to, right? That's a military that's been moved in. Those are mercenaries that they paid for, that they're paying for out of money they're taking from you. And I say from you because I do every fucking thing that I possibly can to avoid using their fucking currency. I do everything I can to avoid it. I still have to because you still agreed to it. I'd rather be growing food all over the fucking place so that I don't even need money because, you know, all we have to do is get rid of them and then we have free energy, which means no more need for electric bills. And then we'll be able to use the device that the gentleman created that pulls water straight out of the ionosphere so that you won't have a water bill. And then we can take the one where the guy created the water device for the car so that you don't have to work on gas anymore, so that you don't have to run on gas. Then we can take all the resources that we no longer need. We can allow the earth to retain the oil that it needs, right? And if we want to, we can kick off all of these rich ass people that have decided that they want to get all the resources and keep it to themselves, even though it's not theirs to have in the first place. And we can just take all the resources and redistribute them to we the people with a little credit card so that we can do business with these foreign companies. It's not that hard to build an infrastructure that will flourish. They hired mercenaries to deal with you. So can we put the whole color thing aside? Can we just say fuck it and everybody go to the gun stores? And the owners of the gun stores stop worrying about money and just hand out ammunition and protection, and we all just come together and agree to help each other. If we get rid of them, that means nobody has to pay for their fucking housing anymore, which means that you'll be able to take the time to study the things that you want to be the person that you want to be, which means that your kids won't have to feel pressure, which means that all of these buildings that are vacant while we have homeless people everywhere can actually be occupied. Like everybody will have the ability to have housing overnight within the next 3 to 6 months. We can have the entire fucking country reseeded and have fresh plants and things and fruits all over the place growing, completely freeing ourselves from the need of fucking anything really, all within a 6-month time period max. There's no need for hatred. There's no need for violence. There's no need for people to struggle. Everything will still operate. There's people like myself that like to design fucking different. I like to design all kinds of crazy shit. I like to build all kinds of crazy shit. I've done masonry, carpentry. I like to just get my hands dirty. It's just something I like to do. There's people that are engineers, scientists, mechanics, doctors, all these things that pick these things because this is what they enjoy doing. Now, you can pick the thing that you want to enjoy. And what you can tell your kid when they're a kid for the first time in the history of this country and actually have it be true is you can be whatever you want. Because it won't be a money thing to determine what kind of school they get to go to, keeping people out of it. It's right around the corner, but freedom isn't something you ask for. Because it was nobody's to take from you in the first place. America. The corporation was dissolved. We have mercenaries from Russia, China, Venezuela, crossing from Mexico and from Canada into the land to take over cities and states and claim the land because of the fact that we have no backing right now. Please stop believing the media about presidential shit. Put down your badges, military, put on your uniforms, or don't. Actually, don't. Stop representing it. It doesn't exist. We have to take care of this. We don't want them back. We want all of the freedoms that the Constitution says that we need and that we're supposed to be entitled to just by existing. It's time. Hey, look, here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. If we allow the Hells Angels to go in there by themselves, they're more than likely not coming out. Because they're going up against trained professionals that are backed. Oh man, you guys don't even see what's about to happen. They need our support. They're doing this on behalf of us. Right? So if you're in that area and you see them coming through, but I don't give a fuck what biker gang you're in. Join them and go get rid of it. All the bikes should come together. I wish I had my bike right now. Ooh, it'd be a whole different kind of video. I'd be on the way. Hey, look. Think about this for a second. Right now, right, there's news coverage of the fact that there's a bunch of guys that are on motorcycles armed to the teeth that are going somewhere in a large mass, and there's no police trying to stop and pull them over. There's no feds going after them. No, it's being publicized. But you think that you don't have the right to carry? And they're like, yeah, we're just going to go across the country and go and handle the shit. And the news is just like, yeah, we're just going to cover it. But so a whole bunch of people with guns and shit are now freely traveling around. You don't understand what you're fucking seeing. We're under common law. They can't. You guys are going to learn. Okay. The different scenarios that you can look at all these current events. One, the corporation does exist. It is still in control here. You do have a president, and they dropped the borders and allowed a whole bunch of foreign militaries to move into different sections of the country to replace you, or to make room for your replacements. Or B, right, they don't exist, and that's why everybody's here, because there was nobody to stop them in the first place, and everybody's still doing everything like it exists. But in actuality, until everybody welcomes it back with open arms, it doesn't and can't do anything. Right? Or, last but not least, You don't realize how vast the size of the people is that actually have left the corporation already and are state nationals at this point. And so you don't realize that they don't have enough people to back the things up they want to anymore because we've already separated. Well, I'm partly through the process, but not completely. But everybody's separating from that once they figure out what it is. Now that it's known publicly, everybody's pulling out of it immediately upon finding out and doing their best to. I can help you out with that as well. Just let me know, inbox me, and I'll give you some information. But as far as the corporation, it doesn't exist, is the reality of it. I mean, that's why everything's shut down, from the White House to the Federal Reserve. They don't even, none of these things exist here anymore. In fact, they don't exist in most places around the world. That's why they've been getting rid of the embassies. That's why you've been seeing little glimpses of, things being, little stories over the last couple of years of this whole entire empire just crumbling, being ran out of every part that it was in the world. The last place that it still exists is here in Canada, for real. So where you think the world's aggression is going to be aimed if we allow it to continue to look like it exists here too?
No. What we're not going to do, okay? What we're not going to do is that claim, okay? This is that dumb shit. Excuse me. I apologize. I shouldn't even fucking approach it like that. Let me explain something to you. Trump was what the corporation put in front of the public in order for the public to believe that the corporation was still in charge of things, right? Trump was simply the last person of the corporation of America to exist legally by law. That was the last one that was available for that corporation, because during his presidency was when it was being shut down. So no, Trump did not, in fact, give anything back. How can you give something back that's already given back? You can't. Because the corporation was suspended. Why do you don't remember, bro? They told you during the shutdown that the corporation, bro, why do you think they've been arguing about the corporation being shut down on national television? Right? Think about it for a minute. Really pay attention to these things while you're telling me that I'm behind on the times. The corporation had been on trial since 2013. You understand? They were officially completely shut down in 2021, but during the time that he was in office, the reason that Trump was in office is because everybody from that corporation was on trial at that point. So they could not, and that was not operating. It was, what do you call that? They were all right. So basically they were being investigated at the time, but during that time they had already been found guilty. Now they were just figuring out how they were going to go about handling things. Trump did not give the country back. The country was already ours. That's the problem, is they gave you Trump in order for you to believe that it was a part of the corporation that was doing it, because he was representing the corporation when he was in there. You understand? Look, I wanted to believe in him too. I really did. I really wanted to believe that that was true. If Trump gave everything back like you're saying he did, then he wouldn't have funded the shots. He wouldn't have been advocating for people to pay their taxes. He wouldn't have been giving people, what do you call it, right? He was dipping into the Sessa QV trusts while you're sitting there saying that anybody that became a national, right, understands that by him having everybody pay their taxes in order to receive extra benefits, what he was actually doing was triple dipping, right? Trump made
got more people to pay taxes in America than anybody that came before him. That was the big snatch and grab at the end. They dipped in, took it under his office, and while it was during his office, they took the largest snatch out of everybody's trusts that was possible. And then at the end of it, so basically what he did was gave them their last giant snatch of our fucking wealth while they were in the process of being expelled and bankrupted, so that they would never have to pay that back and they would get away scot fucking free. You need to actually take a real look at things, because what you're doing is falling for the okie doke. Because right now they're about to start up a whole bunch of shit with these paid Venezuelans to get the country going into chaos so that everybody begs for him to come in and clean it up. That's the problem. Is it's all set up. Why do you think they set those rules up in Chicago a year before all these migrants started coming in there, right before it's election time? This has all been playing out in front of everybody, but nobody's been keeping up with the pieces. So you don't know that all that stuff in Chicago was planned out? You don't realize this? Yeah, about a year or two ago, I forget what the exact date was, but you saw it going across the television, that the sheriff popped up from Chicago talking about some, hey, look, they're changing the rules. They're making it so that people can just take over properties and we can't do nothing about them. And they're going to be releasing the people out of the thing and everything. And everybody was like, no. They can't pass that, because everything was going back to common laws. What they're not telling people is that everything's back in common law. That's why that was passed. But at the same time, they did it publicly so that it would look like they were the ones that were in control, when really they had no control over the situation. That's why that was done the way that it was done. It was to make you think that it was them doing it, rather than the fact that the corporation got expelled. But don't you find it suspicious that they tell you that they passed that in the same places where all these migrants pop up a year later? President. Now, didn't I tell you, right? Didn't I fucking tell you that they were going to throw the country into chaos in order for it to seem like we needed a president? That way everybody would rush to welcoming that corporation back in. Now, how are they throwing everything into chaos? Because they already set it up. Just like they were setting up the blocks, just like they were setting up the stacks of bricks and abandoning vehicles and things like that during the race wars that they started over, what the fuck was his name? Oh boy, I can't breathe. I know, because I led the marches that were in my city. Now look, check this out, right? Peep game, right? During that time, they put blocks everywhere and made it so that everybody, now recently they told you last year that in Chicago that there was ruling that was passed that was going to make it so that the sheriffs were not able to remove, and that you had to remove anybody from your property that was on your property, was to be done at your own fucking discernment. They're not allowed to get involved in it. Now, why would they be being told to stand down a year before? Guess what? Election time. A year before election time, they're told everybody needs to stand down and blah, 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 blah. All right? You can't do anything about the people that go and live in people's sheds and go up in people's houses and everything like that. And everybody got upset about it, but they didn't see this coming. I saw it fucking coming. I've been warning you about it. Now, so guess what? Those Venezuelans that are fighting with the police, they're getting paid too. If you check, all of those people are getting paid somewhere around $2,000 a month for housing, another $1,500 a month in food stamps, and that's being paid for by the corporation as incentive. So if they're getting paid for by the corporation to be here, and they're also battling the corporation at the same time, guess what? They're hired too. Why? Because this country needs to go back into chaos in order for you to think that we need a corporate member to come in and clean things up. Get the fuck out there and go and handle the shit. We're done with them.
Common law is the law of the land. You see, admiralty maritime law is the law of the water. Common law is the law of the land. And canon law is contractual law. Okay, that's the law of the air. Now, common law is different from admiralty law because admiralty law is corporate law. Okay, that's basically what it is. It's corporations and the regulations, statutes, codes, and things like that. The codes of federal regulations, the U.S. codes, and things like that are statutes. Those are under admiralty, maritime law. That's the law of the sea. Okay. Common law, however, is for we the people. Common law is for the people that are born of the land. Common law states that as long as you don't steal nothing, as long as you don't break nothing, and as long as you don't hurt anybody, you're innocent of everything. You didn't do. All right, look. So I know that I'm showing you all the dirt and I'm bringing you all of the information out to the fucking forefronts. But I don't want you to panic. You see, the reason that they're jumping through these loops and doing all these desperate acts, and I know that the desperate acts that are being done are horrendous, but the reason that they're doing this is because of their desperation of you to stay asleep. And they know that everybody's waking up. You now see a force. You've already seen one of America's fucking militias get to work. You have the Hells Angels and everybody going to deal with the Venezuelans. Now it's just time for the hood to get involved and the rednecks. And then we officially have our country back and we can run out all of those people that belong to that corporation that want to continue representing the same corporation that's destroying our fucking country. So what does that truly mean for we the people? Guess what? Guess what that means? That means that we're on the verge of having a clean health system. We're on the verge of a holistic health system. We're on the verge of having our fruit female plants returned back to the general public so that we have fruit growing in every fucking state all around the entire country so that nobody has to starve anymore. We are on the verge of removing this corrupt corporation that has been poisoning our water. We're on the verge of getting rid of the ones that have been putting the poisons and the metals in the air. We're on the verge of the people that are fucking selling your children over to the British corporation with their sole contracts and their birth certificates. We're on the verge of having free energy. We're on the verge of having all of our technology increased drastically. All the free energy devices and fucking traveling around the world and driving around in fucking vehicles that don't run on gasoline anymore, motherfucking that run on water instead of fucking electricity that's being taken out of batteries that people have to be used children labor to fucking create. And we're on the verge of a beautiful fucking future right now, and you should be fucking thrilled and excited because it's right there in front of you. That's why they're freaking the fuck out and trying to pull all these measures right now for you to come begging for them to come fucking back in and save you from everything. Get the fuck up. We gotta go save ourselves. This is America, land of the free and home of the brave, and it's ours right now. Act like it. It's ours. Go out there and tell them pack their shit. We're not taking that no more.